Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. The best way to find out who people really are is to see them how they act and sometimes how they speak, and what ideas they have, but mostly, how they act. I'm going to show you here a video between an intellectual who is Stefan Cohen, that I admire very much. He's a Russian studies professor emeritus. He died at 81 in 2020, if I remember correctly, lung cancer, unfortunately. Very intelligent, very calm. There's a person that I would have liked to meet in person, and I didn't have the chance. And an agitator, who is Max Booth. They're both Jewish. One is from Lithuania, the other one is from Russia, and with the origin I'm talking about. And you're going to see how Stefan Cohen, intellectual, discusses matters versus Booth, who's an agitator propagandist. He's just like a little dog. You're going to see which one you would like to have as a father. And they meet at Anderson Cooper's show. That's why I'm wearing this. Okay, so here we have it. I'm going to have this video, which is it's exactly 6 minutes. Then I'm going to, before I do this, I'm going to go over Wikipedia to show you who's who, what's what. And then I'm going to show you some other interactions between Max Booth and Tucker Carlson. I'm not going to play those. I'm just going to show you the images with the YouTube videos that you can go and check them out. See, this guy is you're going to make your own opinion on that one. So here is the video. Comes from Fox, cannot come from Fox News, from CNN. The other ones that I was looking for, Tucker Carlson, come from Fox News. So this is Max Booth, and he's going to talk to Stefan Cohen. And they're going to debate the Trump brags about Putin meeting again. And this guy is not interested in the substance of the meeting. He's interested in throwing shit on people. Well, let's start with the first. Anderson Cooper. Anderson Cooper, the only notable thing that I want to show you is this. Early life and education. I am always looking at this when I look into someone's lives. That's very important. He is from the Vanderbilt family. If you don't know who that is, go and check it out. His mom was from the Vanderbilt family. And this is an American family who gained prominence during the Gilded Age and so on. A very wealthy, nothing wrong with that, but he is an anchor at CNN. Now, next one. This guy, Max Booth. Max Booth is this person right here. The one that you saw right here. And ugly then, ugly here. Personal life, he was born in Moscow. His parents and grand were all Russian Jews from Soviet Union. Nothing wrong with that, but always good to know. And Stefan Cohen, obviously, he is also Jewish, but he comes from Lithuania. Okay, so now we know who's who, what's what. Let's start with this video. I would like you to see how this guy behaves. He's much younger than Stefan Cohen, and how he behaves, and he's not interested in debating. And please pay attention on how Stefan Cohen is going to ask him, what? How did you call me? And you're going to find out the rest. Let's make this at maximum volume so you can hear everything that's going on here. And let's get it on.
Stephen, I mean, do you think it's problematic that we don't know what was said in that 2+ hour meeting between these two world leaders? And as Max said, it didn't seem like Mike Pompeo or others maybe even have a firm grasp on what was said.
I don't think it's unusual. We do have a pretty good sense of what was discussed, both from what Trump's people have said, but equally from 2 or 3 speeches Putin has given. Let me just rattle them off because I was looking at them today. They discussed trying to avoid a new nuclear arms race by keeping alive 2 treaties that exist. They talked about peace in Syria, including securing Israeli borders from Iranian forces. That would be very important to Americans, I think. They talked about the possibility of a joint alliance against terrorists who are in pursuit of weapons of mass destruction. They talked about doing more business, which doesn't make much sense because of the sanctions. And they talked in some way about the United States becoming more involved in the Minsk agreement, which is the only agreement we have to resolve the Ukrainian crisis.
But how do you know that's what they actually talked about?
Those are good things.
You have to take Putin's word for this. This is what they talked
the
about.
Russian side has said.
Right. So you're going on the side. You're believing Vladimir Putin on this.
Well, I don't want to shock you, but I believe Vladimir Putin on several things. But the point is this has been confirmed by a number of Trump's people. Trump himself made some statements. We discussed this.
It hasn't really been confirmed. I mean,
he doesn't talk like a normal diplomat.
See how they attack him, and you gotta be bad if Putin would trust Putin, not the substance of what could have been discussed. That's not important. It's not important to these guys. These guys are just hacks.
What President Trump actually said to Vladimir Putin is only known to Vladimir Putin and to President Trump. Even if Putin comes forward and says, oh, I said this, or even if President Trump comes forward and says, oh, I said this, we don't know for sure. The only thing we know for sure is what happened in that press conference.
So what happened was Putin and Trump met alone, only with the translators, for about 2 hours without these guys in it. And they're all freaking out because they talk something without the supervision of them. That's the whole point. And Stephen Cohen is going to make the point, that happened before, why are you so agitated now? Well, and it's happened between the Soviets and the Americans. Why are you so agitated? But Cohen is trying to make an intellectual argument. The other guys are trying to make a personal character assassination, basically.
Did what happened at that press conference concern you at all, Stephen?
Well, let me give you an example. I being older than both of you, maybe you don't remember. In early 1986, President Ronald Reagan met alone with then Soviet leader Gorbachev for, I think, about 2.5 hours. And everybody was very upset about it because Reagan was getting older in years, and people were worried. When the guys came out, Reagan and Gorbachev, they said, we've decided to abolish nuclear weapons. And aides on both sides said, you can't do that, just like that. So they backed off.
Did you hear that? The aides, you can't do that. And that is correlate that with what Putin said about who's in charge of the system here, how much power the presidents have. Thank you very much for those videos, my friends, sent to me via Facebook about Putin and who really the guys in black suits with ties.
But what happened 1 year later? Reagan and Gorbachev abolished a whole category of nuclear weapons, the intermediate range. Okay. So good things got done, and nobody else knew except the two translators what was said in there. Okay. So there's precedent.
President Trump today talked about meeting with the Iranian president, Rouhani, with no preconditions. Does that surprise you? Would that be wise?
It's not surprising to me at all, Anderson. In fact, I predicted it a week ago when Trump came out with that semi-deranged tweet in all capital letters threatening consequences the likes of which you've never seen before to Iran. Based on his pattern, you can pretty easily predict that after threatening these horrible consequences, Trump will then try to set up a meeting, glad hand, and before long he'll probably be praising Rouhani for being incredibly intelligent, smart, witty, warm, and reaching a deal that has no substance to it whatsoever. That's his pattern. The striking thing to me is that although he's willing to threaten North Korea, he's willing to threaten Iran, he never threatens Russia. And that's why a lot of intelligence officials think that there is something highly suspect in the relationship between Putin and Trump.
So this guy is upset that he is not running or riding high on Russia anymore. That's his problem. When you hear Americans and certain groups in America being upset with the Russians running their own Russian nation, is because they don't run it anymore. They don't run the Soviet Union anymore. They don't run Russians anymore. That's all what this guy is upset about. And this is a pseudoscientist. He's a historian. That's how it says in the Wikipedia. But historians are many people who say the right thing and then they're promoted. And when they're promoted, they're put in front of the cameras and called experts. And this guy is a member of many, many organizations. Look who he belongs to. So he's over here to say the right thing with no substance, just accuses and deranged, crazy, stupid, boo, boo, boo. And Russia, bad, this guy.
No idea what Mr. Booth is talking about. He wants Trump to threaten Russia. Why would we threaten Russia? You've got two nuclear
Because they're attacking us.
And Mr.
Russia is
Booth's
attacking
idea
us.
Is attacking us.
Russia is attacking us right now, according to Trump's own
could I-
director of
Russia-
national intelligence.
Russia, I've been studying Russia for 45 years.
He said his own national security. Well, his national security are the guys that work against him, are the guys.
In Russia, and I've lived here.
And you've been
If Russia
consistently
was
an apologist
attacking
for
us,
Russia
we
in those
would know.
45 years.
Russia hasn't. Excuse me. What did you say to me?
I said you've been consistently an apologist
that,
for Russia
please.
in those last 45 years.
All right, I don't do.
Now look at his face when he says that. His eyes are watery. He's embarrassed by his garbage. And Professor Cohen's answer, intellectual. Please watch it. Look at Booth's face when he said it to his eyes. He's blinking. He's embarrassed of his own attack. He doesn't feel comfortable himself to say it.
In those last 45 years.
All right, I don't do defamation of people. I do serious analysis of serious national security problems. When people like you call people like me, and not only me, but people more eminent than me, apologists for Russia, because we don't agree with your analysis, you are criminalizing diplomacy and détente, and you are the threat to American national security in this story. Why do you have to defame somebody you don't agree with? It? They used to do that in the old Soviet Union. We don't do that here. Well, we used to, but we need to stop it.
So just finally, Stephen, you're saying.
So that's when he smacked him. And the guy's like, who cares? By the way, Max Booth is doing very well. The other one is dead. So let me show you Tucker Carlson, the two videos that we would like you, if you're interested, to view. The first on top, he's going to talk about Max Booth is not actually fighting our war. Tucker Carlson makes the claim. And the other one is right here when they face to face. This is, if you want to get very angry or irritated, watch this. Because this guy right here, I'm not saying that Tucker, but Tucker is decent. This guy, just watch this one. Make sure I don't even know what advice to give you, to eat first or not to eat. Because if you eat, you're going to probably feel like vomiting. If you don't eat, you are not going to eat for some time after that because you're not going to feel like. At least that's the way I am. When you get angry, when I get angry, I can eat for, 2-3 hours. Stomach. So if you don't want to eat, you want to lose weight, watch that every 2 hours. And then you're never going to eat again if you're like me. And if you really want to go into bulimia or, go and vomit all the time, watch that with your full stomach. Now, this is an example of this. Booth is one of the guys who his assessment, political assessment, his historical view is taken in consideration as manna from God. It's not. This guy is a tool of them. And with this, my friends, how did you call me? What did you tell me? What was that? Because people like you, things are. Well, he snapped at this guy, but what can you do? The guy was unfazed because if you look at his history, his career is just. Let me see if he is in the World Affairs Council of America. Named Booth the 500 most influential people in the United States of America in the field of foreign policy in 2004. He also worked as a member of the Project of the New American Century, 2004. You know what it is? Go and check it out because I know exactly what it is. Right here. Go and check that out. And so on. He is right here. Booth wrote many articles with the CFR. Go and check who that is, my friends. They don't tell you, right? And so on. It's just he's in a very good position. He's in very good position. You're not gonna get rid of this guy like that. You need to get the FBI and CIA. No, because he's with them. So again, his argument was that even Trump's national security advisor said that That's a guy from the swamp. That's a guy from the marsh, as I call it. What are you talking about? But that's one of his guys. Another guy. And Trump's. Who appointed him? Trump. Do you think that Trump knew that guy just personally? Or that was referred by someone else? Trump's mistake, but that's her president. All right, my friends, here it is. I can't stop. When I want to, sometimes when I want to get into a, you can call it echo chamber if you want, as these guys like to call it in the derogatory term. But if I want to come back to normality, to logic, to arguments made, supported with evidence, with facts, if you want to go back to normality, I watch Stephen Cohen, one of the many that I'm watching like this. I have a certain list that I'm watching, and it's like when you come home from work or you're agitated and you put a soothing song that you like. I don't know what that might would, whatever it would be, to calm you down, to come to your senses, to come to your being together, to be in harmony with yourself and say, man, this is life. That's outside garbage. All those people, all those weasels are out there. Okay. And then you interact with your friends, family, people that really belong to the same, as these guys like to call it, vibe. I call it because, but the same. When I listen to certain, I need to recharge my battery to think, man, this is a quality. This is valor. This is normality. This is the way it should be. And everything else that you see, Max Booth and other, are a perversion of our civilization, of what's good. Well, I have to make assessments, and I will pass judgment, because you always do this when you go and live your life. You always pass judgment on everything, because you make a choice. You make a choice between this and this. Why? This sucks, this is good. Pass judgment. I like this guy, I don't like that guy. Why? Because that guy is a piece of shit. Pass judgment. That's why you don't go and marry everybody else. You marry one woman. Why? Or one man, depending on what you are, right? If you're a woman, you marry a man. If you're a man, you marry a woman. If you're something else, do whatever the fuck you want. The thing is, you pick one, you discriminate against everybody else. You look at value, what value she has versus what values everybody else have. She. So you pass judgment. No, physical, mental, emotional, intellectual, obviously, sentimental, all these things. You pass judgment. She's fatter than this one. She's uglier than this one. She's not as smart as this one. She's not as hardworking as this one. She's not as organized. She's not as clean. She's not as loving. She's not of understanding. She's not of strong. She's not as, all these things. Yeah, you judge. The same here. Max Booth is, as he said, something that's wrong with people like that guy. And they are in charge. They are in the saddle, as in the Bible. Remember the Ecclesiastes, Solomon? That's one of the, I would say, the only piece that I like in the Bible, in the Old Testament, actually. Why? Because it seems like, it sounds like Buddhism. Everything is nothing. Everything is garbage. And he talks about, the, how do you call those? The servants being settling on a saddle, and people of valor are interpreted being the ones walking next to them like servants, upside down. That's where we are right now. Max Booth is a good example. What's his name? The presidents, the politicians, another example, and many others. The mass media too. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.